Welcome back to our Arbitress YouTube channel. In today's class, we're going to learn how to make this beautiful shawl collar boob. It has like a shawl collar. You can see that the collar is extending from the front to the back, and it also has a fitted bodice in front with gathers all around the bodice. As you can see, it has a inner belt to it has an inner belt to tighten the waist in front, just to give you that fitted effect that you have there. I'm going to take you through how to cut and sew this in this class. It's a really beautiful boo dress, as you can see, and it's beginner friendly. If you like a tutorial on how to make the turban that I paired it with as well, let me know in the comment section, and I'm going to film a tutorial on it. So let's get right into the video. I'm going to use this raw silk fabric for this boo. It's bouncy and it's a little stretchy on one, not all the grains, but it's stretchy right here. It's not stretchy on bias, no, it's stretchy on bias too. It's just not stretchy horizontally. So this is what I'm going to use, and I'm going to be drafting on paper for clarity and because I want to use slash and spread method for this. So it's simple. It's a boo. The width I'm working with for this is your shoulder measurement plus your full sleeve measurement. Is going to be adjustable. Okay, so for me, I just measured 29 inches, including allowance for folding in the casing for the elastic. So here I have 29 inches. You can see I have 29 inches here, and then for the length I'm working with is 60 inches. So I have a full length of 60 inches. So we are going to cut the back first before cutting the front. So to cut the back, you are going to mark your neck width measurement. The neck width I'm working with is 3 inches, you can see, and then the neck depth is 1 inch. So I went ahead to connect it, and then for that I did a shoulder slope of 1.5 inches. So this is 1.5 inches here, and then I connected it all the way to my neck point here. So I'm just going to grab my scissors now and cut that out. This is a little big, so I had to just mark some points because I may not be able to do that while recording, for me to be able to capture everything. So once you cut this out, the next thing to do now is to shape the side. So just like we have on our thumbnail, the sides, the two sides are different, and I'm going to explain to you how to get each of them. Now it's up to you to decide on the one you want to work with. Like I said, these have a puff sleeve. Okay, so you're not going to use your actual round sleeve measurement. You need to mark where you want your how puffy you want your sleeves to be. For me, from where my shoulder slope stops, I have 18.5, which means, remember, I took 1.5 inches for my shoulder slope. So which means if I take out 1.5 from the upper part, I just marked out 20 inches. Okay, I marked out 20 inches, and that's going to be my sleeve opening. That's where my elastic is going to be, to give me that puffy effect. Okay, so for the first design, which is the cow design, the one that has a cow effect by the side, so where you have your sleeve opening, where your sleeve opening stops here, you can just come in by 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches. I came in by 3 inches here, and then I connected like this. So now to be able to form your cow from the upper part, from the shoulder area here, you are going to take your tape now and then mark your just 4 to 5 inches above your knee length. I have around 36 inches here. Okay, and that is the marking that you are seeing here. So once you have that 36 inches from the center front, which is here, you're going to mark your hip divided by 4 plus extra 5 to 7 inches, depending on how you need it. You don't need it to be too tight, so that you can walk freely in it. The hip I'm working with is 46 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 11.25. Okay, so this is 11.25 here. So I added all of this allowance. So I added about 7 inches allowance, which stops here. So this allowance that you took here is what you are going to take all the way to the hem. I have marked this with my ruler, so I'm just going to rule it out for you, so you can see that's the line there. So the next thing to do now is to form your cowl effect. It's very simple. where your sleeve length stops here, okay, and where your hip divided by 4 plus extra inches, you can see that they don't align. Okay, you can see the points, you can see where this one stops, you can see where this stops. So the excess that you have there is what you're going to use to form your cowl. So from here you just connect them like this. Okay, you can stop here, but I'm just going to take it down a little bit as my reference point. So it's actually dependent on you and how you want to form your cowl. So this is one. You can also take it up like this, and you can take it up to here. So this excess that you have here is what is going to form the cowl for you. So you just cut it out straight down like that. So with this, you may need to open slits by the side of your bubu so that you'll be able to walk freely in it. Okay, the other one that we have there is just the straight one. So in this case, that's the maroon thumbnail that we have. In this case, you from here, once you come in here for the allowance that you will need to fold your casing, so this measurement that you have here is what you are going to take straight down. With that, you are not going to need to form any cowl design or anything, which is what I think I'm going to be going for. So you, after taking in 3 inches here, you can take 2 inches as well. I just did 3. So that same 3 inches is what you are going to take all the way to the hem. I may need to use another color of marker for this so that we can differentiate them easily. Okay, so you can see it just came in like this, and then I took it straight down. With this one, you're going to have something really free on the lower part, so you will not need slits for that. You can see, but it's not going to form excess cowl effect. So this is just the variation that we have from the 2 thumbnails. So it's up to you and the design you want to go for. So if I'm going for the straight one, I just need to cut this out straight like this, and then I'm going to link it to the sleeve. So if you are going for the one with the cowl effect, you are going to cut along the green marker, which is the first design that we did. So the back is really simple. It's just your regular basic baby. So this is what we have for the back. So now I'm going to take my fabric now and cut the back on it. Then I'm going to bring my pattern back to show you how we're going to cut the front. So when you're cutting the back, make sure that this part is on fold. Ahead to cut the back, please make sure you cut the back before you continue, because once you remove the back, once you cut the front, the pattern is not going to be the same. So if you have not cut your back, it means you have to draft another pattern. So this is what we have now. So we have a bodice, a fitted bodice in front. So we are going to take out the bodice from this, and then we're going to do slash and spread method to introduce volume to the other part of the front bodice. So the first thing you need to do now is to mark out your neckline. Remember, we've already used 1 inch for the neck depth of the back. So I'm going to come up by 1 inch and then place it. Then you decide how deep you want your neckline to be in front. Okay, so once you cut your back, you still have your pattern. So we are going to modify this pattern to get the front that we need. Okay, so now the neckline of the front is going to be a V neckline, but it's still going to have like a built-up collar that extends to the back like a shawl collar. So for that, you are going to need the measurement of your back neckline. So you can see, so for my back neckline, I have 3.5 inches. So you can keep that, or you can just write 3.5 inches so that you don't forget. And that 3.5 inches is on fold. So by the time you open it out, that's going to be 7 inches. So once you have that out of the way, we have a bodice in front. So to get that bodice, you're going to need your actual shoulder measurement. For me, that's 8 inches, or wherever it is you want your, however you want the bodice to look like, but I want to use my shoulder as a reference point. So the same 8 inches, which is my own shoulder, I'm going to, that's 16 divided by 2. The full shoulder is 16 divided by 2 gave me 8 inches. I'm going to mark the 8 inches downwards like that, so that I can get like a straight line. So once you have your straight line like this, you are going to mark the, it has a basque waistline effect. So you can mark your, maybe your under bust or just a little bit below your under bust. So for me, I'm going to mark around 15 inches. My under bust is 14, so I'm just going to work with 15 inches. Okay, you can also do 16, you can do 17, depending on what you want. Or let me just extend this to maybe 16 and a half. So 16 and a half is going to be somewhere here. So that's where the straight line stops. So the next thing now is to mark the where it's going to meet to form your basque. So you can use like your blouse length measurement where you normally place your blouse. For me, I'm going to be using 22 inches. So here I'm going to mark where I have 22 inches. 22 inches is going to be here. So from there now, I'm going to take my ruler and then connect from this place all the way to the 22 inches to form like a V shape, which is going to be my basque waistline. So you can see what we have here. So I'm going to be taking out this part. So if you look at the thumbnail very well, you will see that around this line that we use to form our basque waistline, you're going to have gathers there. And if you're sticking to this pattern does not have volume. Once I cut this out like this, I'm going to have the exact thing that I cut out. So which means for me to have those gathers that I have there, I need to do maybe a slash and spread or anyhow, you know, to introduce volume to what you have. So I'm going to cut this out now, and then I'm going to keep it because we are still going to be working on the neckline. Remember that I said it has like a shawl collar which is going to extend to the back. That was why we mark the back neckline measurement there. So this is what we have. So once you take this out, now we are going to use slash and spread to introduce more volume to the one we have here. So to do that, depending on how much gathers you want, you can just have multiple slash lines, but I'm just going to eyeball it, and then I'm going to start creating lines along this line. Okay, I'm going to create multiple lines, and then I'm going to slash it a little bit to introduce more volume so that I'll be able to form gathers there. So you can see what I'm doing. You do this here and then you do it along this line as well. So you can see I've created some slash lines here. So you are going to slash your lines depending on how you want the gathers to be. You can see how this is going. It's going towards this side, and then if you go to the basque area as well, I made it face, I slashed it towards the side because that is how I want my drapes to form. If you want yours to be straight, so here, from here now, you're just going to make your lines straight like this. It depends on you and what you want. So once you have your lines like this, the next thing is to bring your scissors and then you start cutting through the lines. So when you are cutting it, the aim is just to introduce volume to this part, which means you are not going to cut it completely to the end. You are not going to cut it to the end. You should just cut enough for you to be able to open it up like this. So you are going to do the same for this. We have done slash and spread severally on the channel, so I'm sure by now we understand how it is. But if you still don't understand, let me know, then maybe we'll work on a freehand method for this design. So you're going to slash it. You can see how I'm slashing it. Then I'm going to introduce a fresh paper and then you spread. So once you spread it like this, you have more volume along this line, and then you'll be able to gather it or place it back to the bodice that we have taken out. So I'm going to go ahead now and slash this and spread on the paper and then bring it back. So once you want to sew it back, please make sure that the center front remains straight because it's going to be cut on fold. It's not going to have a seam at the center front, so the center front has to be cut on fold. You have to be mindful of that when you are spreading it. So I'll go ahead and do all of this now, and then I'm going to bring it back to show you what we have, and then we're also going to work on the bodies. So when you are placing your pattern, make sure that your fabric is on fold, and then the center front part here, it has to be on fold. You can see mine here, there's no joining there, so you make sure that your center front is on fold. You pin it before you start spreading the upper part like this. Okay, so you can see I've gone ahead to cut it with my pattern. So I fused the sequence that I said I was going to use. I fused it on one of it, and then you're going to sew it at the center. Remember I said I wanted to have a seam, So after sewing it, I opened it up with my iron, and this is what I have. Okay, so this is the main fabric, this is the inside where we sew. So you are going to cut lining as well to cover it up and to turn your neckline. So this is my lining as well, and then I've opened it up. So what I'm going to do now is to place the lining and main fabric against each other, and then I'm going to sew on the neckline. This is the neckline. I'm going to use it to turn out the neckline, and then I'm going to bring it back for us to see what it looks like. So I've gone ahead to turn the neckline, you can see. So I'm going to notch it and then iron it so that it can be flat like this. So once you turn your neckline, this is what it's going to look like. The next thing is to sew the collars together. So we are going to sew it in such a way that it's not going to, the rough edges is not going to show. So lining to lining, you can open it up like this and sew lining to lining, fabric to fabric, or you can just flip it. Remember when we were drafting, we added half an inch to the 3.5 inches neckline. So I'm going to sew with the half an inch and turn it out. Okay, so after doing that, now we're going to trim the excess that we have, and then we're going to bring the bigger part of the front. I've gone ahead to sew it. You can see that the neckline area is neatly turned now. This is what we have. So this part is where we're going to sew to the back, the 3.5 inches that we marked at the back. So it's going to be like this, and this is going to be your front neckline. So it's just going to come up like this and then meet where the front neckline depth is. So this is like the yoke for the front. So now I'm going to go ahead. You can sew this to the back before gathering the front, so I just want to gather it first. So this is the front that we did slash and spread on. So where this basque effect starts, you can see, remember I told you to notch it. So this is my notch, and this one is for this upper part. You can see that it is obviously more than what we have because of the slash and spread. So I'm going to go ahead now and gather this to fit into the length that I have here. And then for the basque as well, you will see that it is also more than what we have on the normal body. So I'm going to gather that as well back to it. So after gathering it, you're going to sew them to form your complete front bodice again. Okay, so if you want to gather it, you can just run your gather stitch like this. You can see, to take it to the actual size that you started with, and you can also plait it. So once you do that, you are going to go ahead and sew it back. So the notches we get, you can see my notch here. So I just matched it with where the basque starts, and this is the, you notch the center front, and so remember that it is cut out fold, so it is not opened. So you are going to go ahead and sew it all around. You can see that I have gone ahead to gather it. You can see. So if you want your ruffles to be more than this, you just need to increase your spread. So this is what it looks like on the wrong side. So I'm going to go ahead and weave all those wrong sides. So you can see now that our front is back to its normal size. So it has an inner belt to make it fitted. So here where my waistline stops, that's where you start your bust. I'm going to go ahead and sew the inner belt like this, okay, on the two sides, so that I can use that to hold it to my body. So after that, you're going to bring your back body just the normal way that you will sew your collar. So this is the back, this is the center back of the back body. So you're going to sew the collar to the back like this. Then after that, you're going to join the shoulder together, and then you're going to join it on the side and open. You're going to create a casing for the elastic on the sleeve. The video is already very long, so I'm going to go ahead and do all of this now. Okay, you just need to sew it. You can pin it together, so make sure that you sew it in a way that is going to be neat, and then you're going to need to weave it. If you can't successfully tuck it in, you can also do that, or if not, just sew it neatly so that it's not going to be so rough. So you can serge it here first, and then you serge it here, or you do that after you have sewn them together. Okay, so let me just show you how to go about the collar. So this is the collar and this is the neckline for the back. So you are going to go ahead and notch the center of the neckline for the back. So you are going to put it on fold like this, and then you are going to place a notch. Okay, so once you get the actual center back, that's where the notch is, you are going to match it with the seam. This is the collar. Okay, where you join the two collars together, where you have a seam here, that's the center back for the collar as well. So you are going to match that notch with the center back like this, in such a way that the seam allowance is going to be inside. So once you do that, you are going to pin it. You can sew it directly, but it's advisable to pin it. It makes it easier for you. So just make sure that they match each other like this, and then you pin. So after pinning it, you can open this up. It's going to make the work a lot easier for you. So where your neckline stops, which is here, you can see from here is the shoulder. This is where the neckline stops. For this as well, where the collar stops, you match it to where the neckline stops, which is here, and then you are going to pin it as well. So the rest that you're going to have is going to be your shoulder. Okay, so you can see they are going to match, because remember that we took the measurement of that place when we were drafting, which was 3.5 inches, and the half an inch that we used to sew them together, we added it. If you don't add it, it means you are going to have a shortage by the time you sew them together. So you go over to the other side where your neckline stop, which is here. You take your collar, this is where your collar stop as well, and then you take it together like this, and then you pin it as well. So you see that the rest is going to match, just like you have it like this. You can see they are going to match each other. So you are going to pin it. So once you are done with all of that pinning, the next you are going to have is your shoulder, the front and back shoulder. So you are just going to pin them together as well like this, or you just go ahead and sew. You go to the other side as well, you take your shoulder, you pin them together, and then or you go ahead and sew it. So that way you're going to join them together, and then you can sew this side. So like I said, you can sew it like this. Once you're done sewing, the rough edges is going to be on the wrong side of your fabric, and then you just serge it. Another way is to look for a way to sandwich it, but I'm just going to go ahead and sew. So I'll place it like this. I'm going to sew everything together. I'm going to serge it, and then I'll sew the sides and create casing for the elastic. I hope you understand better now. So I'm gonna have to do all of that. You can see what we have. But once you create your casing, you use the elastic to gather the hem of the sleeve, and this is what you are going to have. You can see how beautiful this is looking. So if you want to have more pleats on yours, you can have a seam at the center front, so that you'll be able to spread as much as you like. But I don't want mine to be too big, so that is why I did it like this, and it gave me this beautiful result. I hope you enjoyed making this beautiful bubu dress with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. I can see that it's giving us a fitted waistline in front because of the inner belt that we fixed to it as well. If you like a tutorial on how I made the turban that I paired this bubu with as well, let me know in the comment section, and I'm going to film a tutorial on it. Bye.